Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Lacey up the middle. Kewan Lacey's in the clear. It's a foot race. The Hurricanes cannot run him down. A lightning strike for Ole Miss. 73 yards. Reaching for the end zone is Marty Brown, and Miami goes back on top. Beck feeling some late pressure. Launching downfield. Wide open is Marion. Another bust. And Miami back on top, 52 yards. Officially, this is a 58-yarder. Carnero steps into it and drives it right through. Are you kidding me? What a weapon this guy is. This one from 54 to make it a 1-point lead. And he's done it again. Are you kidding me? This bank shot goes in. Can you believe that? 2 doinks. One stays out, one goes through. Carnero puts Ole Miss on top, though, 19-17. What a drive. You get it to him. Tony has space. Malachi Tony still running. Touchdown, Miami. Electric. Again, the Canes bring pressure. Chambliss delivers. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Daquan Wright. Chambliss on the move, scanning, end zone, caught! 2-point conversion by Caleb Odom. 3 receivers bunch to the left. Beck is looking that way. And still looking, takes off running. Carson Beck with his legs. Chambliss connects the snap, backpedals, launches to the end zone. Broken up. And the Miami Hurricanes head home to play for a championship.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into another episode of Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this program. Landon Winkler is over there in the corner. He's running the video feed and the cameras. We'll start today's show as we do every single day. Actually, we'll start it with this. Sports Day today is presented by Barton Community College, offering exceptional and affordable learning opportunities, supporting student, community, and employee needs. We'll start today's show with the Sounds Past 24 Hours. That's what I was going to say a second ago. Last night, college football playoff semifinal, Ole Miss and Miami. I said on yesterday's show that I thought it would come down to quarterback play. And let me tell you what happened as far as quarterback play in this game. The losing quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, 23 of 37, 277 yards, 1 touchdown. He rushed 5 times for 7 yards. That is a pretty darn good performance. But for Miami, Carson Beck, weirdly similar stat line, 23 of 37, exact same number of completions and attempts, 268 yards within 10 yards of what Chambliss did. 2 touchdowns, though, 1 interception. He also ran in the final winning touchdown. This game was awesome. It was back and forth, both teams coming up big in critical moments on both sides of the ball. Interception for Ole Miss in a big moment. Perry High School's own Daquan Wright scores the go-ahead touchdown with about 3 minutes to go for Ole Miss. Carson Beck does something that I did not think he could do and leads the drive all the way down the field, gives Miami the lead. Awesome game. Ole Miss has a shot at the very end. They got 50 yards in 2 plays, had a shot at the very end. Probably should have been called for a pass interference call, but Miami gets away with it, and now Miami gets to play a home game for the national title game down in Miami Gardens. That'll be just awesome to watch. Second semifinal game is tonight as Indiana plays Oregon for the right to travel to Miami. I believe those 2 teams are playing in Atlanta, so not that far to go. They'll be able to go from I've made that bus ride before. I've ridden from Atlanta to Miami on a bus, and it's about 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours, something like that. But it's just a crazy college football game. It was everything that we wanted in a semifinal. Looked like 2 of the best teams in the country going at it, and they delivered. They delivered in the big moments. Other players to talk about. Mark Fletcher finishes with 22 carries, 133 yards for Miami. Leading rusher for Ole Miss was Kewan Lacey. Only got 11 carries in this game. He wounded himself on the big touchdown run that you heard there. Only 11 carries for 103 yards, 1 touchdown for him. Just an overall crazy game. The reason I mentioned where Daquan Wright went to high school is because Daquan Wright and I went to the same high school. We're both Perry High School Panthers, and he was a freshman my senior year. And, I mean, you could already tell that he was going to be just bigger, faster, and stronger than most people were. And now he's at Ole Miss, and he's tearing it apart. So congratulations to Daquan. And you know, as far as the game, Miami, I think, deserved to win just because I think they played a little bit better throughout the 4 quarters. And credit to Carson Beck, man, a guy who a lot of doubt has been cast his way, by me included, and certainly from University of Georgia, where he left. And he ends up in Miami, and now they're getting a shot to play for a national title game. Has certainly worked out for Carson Beck. Sports Day Today is brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend, also by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, they have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street. Lastly, in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Community College athletics programs the best in the country. We did have the Great Bend Panthers in action last night on the basketball court. Take you through those scores before we go anywhere else. The girls continue their rough season. Just didn't really get anything going in this game. Running clock by the middle of the 3rd quarter. The girls fall 67-37. The Great Bend boys, though, they get off the mat. They put together a fantastic performance, and they beat Garden City 74-56. Cooper Romont scores 34 points. His previous career high was 15, and he scores 34 in this game. The outside shooting was incredible for Great Bend, and they get a win in the WAC opener, 74-56. Also, wrestling in action last night over in Pratt. Actually, I don't know who the home team was in this one. Pratt and Great Bend on the girls' side. Pratt barely edges out Great Bend 33-30, while the boys put on a great performance. I need to get Great Bend Wrestling on this program because they're having a great season so far. They dominate Pratt 50-27 in the wrestling WAC opener. So pretty incredible stuff for Great Bend on the boys' side last night, as both wrestling and basketball win in their first matchup in WAC play. We got a great show for you today. We're going to take our first break here in a second. On the other side, Kyle Haxton, the head coach of Hoisington boys basketball, along with a couple of players on that team, they join us. They have a game tonight. We'll tell you about it after. But Coach Kyle Haxton sat down with me, and we spoke along with a couple of the senior leaders in that program. And you'll hear that on the other side of this break. This is Sports Day, live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
The need for nurses is constant. Barton Community College offers practical and registered nursing programs in Great Bend and Pratt. The affordable and challenging coursework is taught by experienced instructors who care about you and have a passion for teaching. Get hands-on training for this high-demand field with state-of-the-art simulation labs and on-site clinicals. The priority application deadline is January 31st. Apply online at nursing.bartoncccc.edu.
Senior Doors, this is Hadley.
Hadley, what are we going to do today?
You have to work at Senior Doors. What if there's another power outage?
You're right, Hadley. People rely on us to be able to get into their houses and businesses. That is why we sell electric operators with battery backups and have been serving the community longer than anyone.
Does that mean you're getting old, Papa?
Not old, experienced.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the Rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Hey, Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars! Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you, now joined by some members of the Hoisington Cardinal basketball team. Got head coach Kyle Haxton, as well as Mason Martin, Carson Mason, and Marcus Ingram. Coach, the reason we got you in here, you had a crazy game last night. We're recording this on Wednesday. Crazy game for you guys last night, but we'll get to that in a second. First of all, congratulations, 200th win picked up on Friday for you as well. So congratulations on that. And take a second to talk about that. What does that mean to say, okay, I've hit a milestone as a head coach?
It just means I've done this a long time. It's longevity. I mean, had a lot of good groups throughout those 17 years and 5 games. And coached with a bunch of good coaches. I've had Coach Stramer alongside of me for 196 of those, and on down the list, I had Coach Thompson recently, and then Coach Brungart, Coach Jeffrey, and now Coach Ingram and Coach Mace. So I've been fortunate to have good assistant coaches that work hard and are willing to put in that extra time away from just the games, as far as preparation goes. And just real fortunate to coach with a bunch of good guys and have a number of good athletes along the way.
Let's talk about last night. That was a low-scoring defensive game, 39-38, I believe was the final, something in the 30s. You've got some guys that are used to scoring a little bit more than that. What happened?
We just struggle to get buckets. They're long. They went 6'8", 6'5", 6'4", and on down the line. I mean, just a ton of size. And I thought they did a good job of guarding the perimeter as well. And but we got buckets. I mean, we got a chance to get buckets and just didn't capitalize. And we'll get better in that area. But, instead of folding up shop, like I told the boys after the game, we could have easily done that down 10 late in the third quarter. And we battled. And Marty got hot in the fourth quarter. I think he had 4 threes in the fourth quarter and got us going offensively a little bit, and ended up coming away with a 1-point lead with just around a minute and held on, thank goodness. But, just a hard-fought win.
Let's talk to some of these guys. Who's up first? I'll let them decide. You got Mason Martin coming up. Marty, you and I have spoken at length during football season. First time in basketball season that we've spoken. But, man, you're a guy who is liable to go off for 20 points at any time. When the game plan shifts like that, what does that do for you?
Well, I mean, we just got to not really stick to our game plan, but change it up a little bit. And if my shot ain't falling, then you got to work for my teammates, work on the defensive end. And there's going to be nights where I'm not going to be able to score 20 points a game. So just got to get the other guys involved, and they got to have confidence in themselves to get buckets when they can too.
It's an interesting story, a low-scoring game coming right off a double-double for you. I mean, what is it like to go from a game where you're kind of getting what you want to a game where you've got to grind it out a little bit more?
Well, I mean, my just simple shots weren't falling close to the rim. Didn't take very many threes in the first half, but just everybody else was getting involved. So once everybody else started getting involved and stuff started going our way on the defensive end and we regained a lead, just everybody's confidence got up and started hitting shots.
Let's get Carson Mason in here up next. Tua, man, it's interesting to hear about you and the athlete that you are on the football field and basketball court as well. What does it do for you to be a multi-sport athlete like that?
Just involved and staying active. Like, you gotta just being a part of a program in every season in a small school, small community. It's just fun. You have the community behind you all the time.
What is it like? I hope you don't mind me saying this. You and I are about the same height, and we're both a little vertically challenged, and we're out there going with, like your coach said, guys that are going up as tall as 6'8". What does it mean to you to be on the court with guys like that, and the fact that you're still able to get yours?
It's a little challenging, but with the height, you just got to be one step quicker. You got to be smarter, and you just got to see the floor well.
All right, let's talk to Marcus Ingram. Marcus, I don't think you and I have spoken before.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so Marcus, are you a senior as well? Because I know these two are. You are. Okay, so you've got this senior class right now. These guys are all fantastic athletes. You've got a lot of good stuff coming through Hoisington right now with this class, and obviously an athletics program that is used to a ton of success. What does it mean to be a part of this senior class?
It's great. These guys, I've grown up with these guys. We're like a family now, I guess. They're my brothers, and they're good athletes. They have my back at all times, so it's great to have them.
What is it like to be on the court in a defensive-focused, low-scoring game like this?
It's great. It's definitely my favorite. I love defense. I love getting after it on the defensive end, so it's fun for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk to Coach Haxton once again. We'll finish this thing out with him. Coach, I asked these three about the members of this senior class and what it's like to have that level of leadership. Hey, Coach, just in your eyes as a coach, what does it mean to have a senior class with kids like this?
Well, these guys are our leaders, and, your seniors you always hope are going to be your leaders, and that's not always the case, but these three always come out and lead. You didn't know Marcus, but this is a guy that started for us for a couple years for sure. I dabbled into it a little bit as a sophomore as well, and, just hard-nosed kids, that play multiple sports, and, these guys just battle. They hate to lose. They have that competitive edge. Tua's been huge for us here in the last few games. Like you said, undersized kid, but still, finding a way to score 9 points last night. And just, I thought he was the reason defensively out of our three-quarter press last night. Just being active and then getting deflections and then finishing some buckets in transition. You just got to find a way. You got to grind it out and know that all games are going to look a little different. Like you said, it was a low-scoring game. We're used to scoring in the 50s, 60s, and, just find a way to battle on the defensive end when things aren't going right offensively. That's the mindset these guys have, and I'm just fortunate enough to have this group of seniors, day in and day out and leading us in practice as well.
I mentioned earlier we're recording this on Wednesday. It will be aired on Friday, and that means tonight you've got a big-time game against Beloit coming in. That's another program that has had a ton of success recently in most of their sports. And what have you seen from them early?
Well, again, they got size. I mean, they've got a 6'7" freshman that was their quarterback this year. They've got a lot of athleticism. They shoot the ball well. They're going to let it fly from the perimeter. They play fast. They like the transition game. I mean, watching them play against Lions on film, it felt like somebody was hitting the fast forward button the whole time I was watching the game. It was just such a fast, high-paced game. And their teams are going to know Marty. I mean, he's averaging 21 points a game through 7 games. I mean, so he's got to find a way to score in a variety of ways, and he's capable of doing that. But we've got to have other guys step up and score in double figures and continue to battle. Tua has done that for us as of late. Marcus has got to get it going offensively, and then we got to get our bigs involved. Brody Fauna still was good for us last night as a junior, getting some tough buckets in the paint. Drake Gruce had some opportunities as a freshman, a 6'5" freshman for us. So, we've got a number of guys to go to and even guys that come in off the bench and get it done. They just got to continue to battle and find a way.
Coach, congrats on win number 200 and number 201. And good luck tonight in 202.
I appreciate you having us, Brant.
Absolutely. That is head coach Kyle Haxton along with Mason Martin, Carson Mason, and Marcus Ingram of Hoisington Basketball joining us here on Sports Day. Love talking to the folks from Hoisington. They're just always, met a couple of them during football season, calling their games, and speaking to Coach Haxton in basketball, that it continues to be just such a welcoming community, and they're a pretty good basketball team as well. 5-2, facing off a really good 6-1 Beloit team tonight. You can hear that matchup. Girls start at, I believe, 6. Broadcast starts at 5:45. Over on 100.7 Eagle Country. Caden Sanders will be on the call with Gene Manweiler, and should be a really fun game. Also on our airwaves here tonight, basketball, Larned taking on Lions over on Hits 106.9. Gary Wagner will be on the call of that one. And if you're just looking for some high school basketball on a Friday, you've got a reason to go. And hey, nothing doing for Great Bend. They were they were in action last night, moving that game up due to the weather that's supposed to come through later this evening. Actually, supposed to be coming through in about 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe it was actually supposed to be here before right now. I don't know. The weather has been doing weird stuff all day. The projections have been changing all day. But either way, Beloit and Hoisington in action tonight. Also, Larned traveling to play Lions. So if you are interested in some high school basketball, go support one of the local efforts around the state, around our area. Also want to let people know that the second college football playoff semifinal game between Indiana and Oregon, after Ole Miss and Miami last night, we'll have Indiana and Oregon coverage beginning at 6 right here on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, courtesy of ESPN Radio. Sports Day today is brought to you in part by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone floors, their knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your home decor and budget. Visit the Great Bend showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land to find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320 or visit redcedarland.com. We are going to take another break. On the other side, we have our usual conversation on a Friday with Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions. He and I chatted it up about the state of things in high school basketball, about the state of Christmas and New Year's around the area, and what some of our local teams are doing, and what they can do to maybe continue getting better. And if that's not the case, maybe they can continue to keep doing what they're doing since maybe it's working. Yeah, it's on the other side. Connor Nickel and I speak for the first time in a couple of weeks right after this. On Sports Day, this is 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville. Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Looking for a meaningful career where you can make a real difference? Barton Community College's adult healthcare program can get you there fast. Become a certified nurse aide or medication aide with Barton's state-approved training. Whether you're just beginning your education journey or advancing your career, Barton offers flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and hands-on training, giving you the knowledge, skills, and critical thinking necessary to thrive in today's world. Learn more at adulthealthcare.bartonccc.edu.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Senior Doors, this is Hadley.
Hadley, what are we going to do today?
You have to work at Senior Doors. What if there's another power outage?
You're right, Hadley. People rely on us to be able to get into their houses and businesses. That is why we sell electric operators with battery backups and have been serving the community longer than anyone.
Does that mean you're getting old, Papa?
Not old, experienced.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you, now joined by Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions. Connor, great to have you back. It was an extended Christmas break for the show, an extended Christmas break for myself, and hopefully for you as well. How are the holidays for you and yours?
Yeah, very good. Last time we talked, we had just won the MCL championship. That was great. Saw my family in Kansas City for several days, and my youngest daughter turned 5 over the break, and so all good things.
Outstanding. Well, let's get into it. We're coming back out of Christmas break in local high school sports as well. So let's talk basketball right now. These teams that keep standing out to me, looking at the smaller schools right now and in this area, the girls' teams for both Hoisington and Larned continue to pile up wins. They're off to really strong starts. So let's focus on those teams to start out with. What are you seeing? I'm actually going to be talking to Coach Trina Luters on Monday's show, so I'm excited to get your opinion and before I talk to her.
Yeah, so, I'm really impressed with what she has done this year. It's really interesting. You go back a couple of years, and I remember talking to her about this. She and I have talked, last year too. Hoisington girls play at a really fast pace. That was something from Osborne that she brought and she wanted to do. You look at their possessions per game comparable to other girls' schools, and they're on the high end. And that's just been a philosophy she has had. Last year it was just a tough year. I mean, we could pinpoint a lot of reasons why, but it was just a very, very tough year. Been super impressed with how they've bounced back this year. The 5-1 start, the balance. Kelsey Myers had a great year. Her daughters had a great year. They've got 3 girls averaging between 12 and 14 points per game, and you just don't see that very often. I mean, even Ellenwood, which is obviously undefeated as well, they don't have that. Ellenwood has great depth, but not 3 girls that could score like that. I think that this Hoisington's a more well-rounded team. I was really curious, with Crawford last year, how they were going to replace her, particularly on the rebounding side and in the inside game. Kelsey Mayer has had a really good year, and I really like Coach a lot. She's just a very positive person to talk to. Her husband has been part of her staff for quite some time now, even going back to their previous days. And I'm just really happy for her to have the success that she has had, and especially after such a very tough year last year. They've just enjoyed a really nice start. They've got a big one tonight with Beloit. Beloit is very, very good. Beloit is very big. They're very physical. I think Hoisington has to shoot the ball well. Look for her daughter to shoot. She's always been a good shooter, but I think she's become a more efficient shooter, and that's, I think, helped them out this year.
And over on the Larned side, Coach Jared Smith and that program, they've been good for a little while now, and it feels like they're just continuing to build momentum.
Yeah, I caught Gary Wagner's post-game show the other night, and that was a really impressive win. I think they won by 1 over a very good Ellsworth team, and it was really interesting. The Peshka girl for Ellsworth, she is a junior, I believe, but has been a known name for, going back to her junior high days. This is a girl that played essentially on Team Kansas when she was an eighth, ninth grader, Peshka, and she is an exceptional player. Ellsworth is very good, and I think Peshka had 20 in the game. Larned's depth, we talked about depth earlier with Hoisington. Larned's depth showed up. They had multiple players score in that 10 to 13 point range. That is a really good win, and I have told people for a while the Indian girls are good. And something that I wanted to note out here is, most teams at this point have played between maybe 6 and 8 games, and there's still there's a strength of schedule component, I think in play here, where, who have you beaten? And Larned has beaten a very good Bearcat team that I thought was really impressive last year. And to win by 1, a very, very gritty win, really like what that program's doing. And I've said this is a good team to watch. And their junior high team was undefeated the last 2 years. The Indian program on the girls' side is going to be very good for a number of years.
Let's stay with the smaller schools for right now. On the boys' side, Larned trying to kind of figure some things out right now, but it feels like they're playing hard, and he's spoken with hearing from Coach Luke Steinlage. He's happy with the way his team is playing right now, even if the wins aren't piling up, and he thinks they just need a couple to get over the hump.
Yeah, they beat the Ellsworth boys who are struggling. Ellsworth boys had a good year last year. Got to see them play at the Hoisington tournament. They took 4th there. And Larned boys won just a grinded out 39-38 game. I think they only shot 9 free throws. One of their better players, Andres, he was in significant foul trouble in the first half. I think only played 2 minutes. Came back in the second half and scored over 10 points. So Larned is clawing, and they're fighting, and they're finding a way to win. But, yeah, to win a boys' game 39-38, that doesn't happen very often, quite honestly. I was at a boys' game on Tuesday night with 2 teams that are going to finish well over 500, Sylvan and TNP, and I think it was 72-38. And so, yeah, for Larned to find that win, and when you look at that matchup for Larned, it was a game that said if we're going to have a good year, we have to win this game. We have to find a way, no matter what, to win this game. And for them to not shoot many free throws, not shoot them overly great, and again having a leading scorer in foul trouble. And winning that way, I think winning in different ways over a high school basketball season is so key. I thought honestly that was a real quality, win for them.
And looking at Hoisington, you talk about low-scoring boys games, 39-38 over Smoky Valley on Tuesday, I believe, is when that game was played. I spoke with Coach Kyle Haxton earlier this week, actually aired it earlier on today's show, but he talked about how happy he is with the defense that they're playing and just said we ran up against length, and it was just a complicated matchup for them. But like you said, grinding and Hoisington finding a way to win that ballgame.
Yeah, and this fits right with our theme that we talked about with Hoisington right before our break. They are better defensively than they have been the last couple of years. We hit on Brody Fonesteel, who's, recruiting is just blowing up. A number of Power 4 offers. And I noted before break that this is a much better Hoisington team defensively than what they've been the last several years, which they've been solid, but this year is definitely better. The ability, I think, to protect the rim is better. Their ability to rebound, I think is better. And even you look at the Sterling game, and I know the score is the way it is. Sterling's incredible. There will not be many games this year that Sterling will score under 70 points. And so you can really qualify defense in a couple of ways. Defensive field goal percentage, points allowed per game, points allowed per possession, but also points allowed relative to the scoring average of other teams that they are playing. So, you hold Sterling to, it's a 65. Well, Sterling scored in the 70s a number of times. So really, your defensive effort relative to opponent was pretty strong. You mentioned the other game too. To hold the team under 40. Really like what Hoisington has done this year. Martin has obviously had a great year, but their ability to play defense will show up. Historically speaking, I'm kind of talking broadly here. When Hoisington has gotten in the postseason, and they've had some great offensive players over the years. I mean, Coach Jackson's sons among those. But they've just not been able to guard at the level that is required to make it to state. But I think this year, I could crunch some numbers, but I would be really curious to know when was the last time Hoisington was this good, not only on defense, but in the ability to block shots and protect the rim, and the ability, I think, to also rebound, particularly on the defensive side.
And just speaking of Hoisington, this was Coach Kyle Haxton's 201st win as a head coach. That milestone, 200 wins as a head coach, I talked to him about it, and he just said, well, it just means I've been doing it a long time. It'd be a little less modest than he is. What does it mean to reach a milestone like that?
Well, and I'll be honest. I've had a lot of respect for Coach Jackson over the years. Many people in the area know this, but of course, he and Jackie Stiles were neighbors growing up, and those two played a tremendous amount of basketball growing up. And I've always appreciated Coach Haxton because he has been able to have a successful program at a school that is known around the state for other sports. And I mean that in a highly complimentary way. If you are somebody in, say, Colby, and somebody says Hoisington, what comes to mind? And they're going to say, football and wrestling. Because those are the sports that Hoisington on the state level has been able to do well in. Coach Smith, boys wrestling, I think has 4 state runner-ups. Obviously, Coach Baird, 2 state runner-ups, a lot of the success there. But year in and year out, Coach Jackson has put together always a competitive, quality team. I mean, there's been years he's won 15 to 17 games. I remember probably 7 years ago now, he had a great team that lost in the Beloit sub-state at the buzzer to a TMP team that went to the Final Four. He's had some teams that, if things go a different way, they're getting to state and perhaps making a run there. But they're always strong. And that is a mark of just a really good coach, is that every year, are we competitive? Are we a good program? And you look at that, it is really hard in this day and age, and I'm speaking of this as a coach, to just go through the ebbs and flows of the season and ride the storms and say, this year we may not be as strong in X, Y, and Z, but give it time and next year we will be. Or however, just those talks, always just being on the grind. And for Coach Jackson to do this is great. I cannot name, quite honestly, 10 coaches in Kansas outside of the metro area on the boys' side who are current who have 200 wins. I can't. And so, especially 200 wins with the same school, it just does not happen very much, and probably a discussion for another time. But it's just very, very cool what he has been able to do year in and year out.
Let's move up to 5A. Great Bend is actually in action right now on the boys' side. We're recording this Thursday night. Their game against Garden City got moved up. We'll start with the girls' team. Connor, it's been a rocky start. They had a great comeback win right before the break to kind of get a little momentum. I think they won 2 out of their last 3 before Christmas break. since they've come back, things were rough against Garden City, rough against Salina South earlier in the week. When you look at this Great Bend girls team, what do you think they're missing right now?
Well, I'm going to say this. There's just way too many turnovers. There's just too many. And when you are a struggling program, particularly on the girls' side, you always have to look at turnovers first, always. And that is the thing. You just have too many empty possessions. And once the turnovers start to cut back, something I've always said is that if you are a struggling program, get your turnover number down under 20. Have incentives in practice. Have talk about it a lot. Really, really preach it. Get that down. And then the second thing is you have to improve as shooters. You have to, because what shooting does is shooting also can overcome flaws. And you have to become average shooters. I know that sounds like maybe simplistic, but if you are a below average shooting team, and if you have too many turnovers, it is really hard to win, like insanely hard to win. But if you can just be average at shooting, and if you can keep your turnovers low, things will start to fall into place a little bit better. And I think the big picture thing for Great Bend, I did get to see them last year. I had not seen them this year. I've seen the scores and such, is that can there be tangible progress from last year? Can there be at the end of the year or at the midpoint of the year, can you say, hey, we are doing this better than last year, or we're doing this better than game one? Is the arrow pointing up? And perhaps the arrow is not pointing up necessarily in the win column, but are we doing things that if we keep doing this, it will pay off? I kind of gave my kind of spiel on it there. Kyle Porter, Silver Lake, multiple state titles. Silver Lake destroyed Hayes High 3 weeks ago. Silver Lake might be the best 4A and down team in Kansas. Kyle Porter has what's called gold habits, and I kind of summarized my version of it, but he has these tangible things that say, if we hit these things each game, it will work out. And so I think those are things Great Bend has to do, is say, how can we tangibly improve in this, and whatever their goals are, but I would say start with turnovers. That really has to get better.
On the boys' side, the big story right now, the lack of Ian Premer. Don't know how long he's out, but I can say that he is on crutches right now, and it looks like he's got a cast on his injured foot, so out for an extended period of time. And like we said, they've been kind of struggling a little bit. Connor, I can say, hot off the presses, 2 minutes ago, posted on GreatBendPost.com, Great Bend boys go in and defeat Garden City 74-56. It's just a fantastic night for them, a big win and opening in WAC play. But we'll start with this. When you lose an athlete like Ian Premer for an extended period of time, how in the world do you recover from something like that?
Certainly, and I think that we kind of talked about before break some of the kind of the on-court stuff, and for them to put up 74 points tonight, that's really, really impressive. Kudos them. Is, what do we have to do scheme-wise? Who has to step up? Do we have to play slower? Do we have to play faster? Do we have to do some of those different things? Obviously, you lose such an inside presence. Do we have to work the ball to certain spots on the floor, particularly in the corners? But mentally is the biggest thing. Is, can a team say we can still win consistently without our star player? Mentally, can they go on the floor and say, hey, when we get in a tough game or a team makes a run, can we just mentally stay locked in? And tonight was a game I thought that they were going to win. I really did, even without Premer. But when you face a Hayes High or you face some other those hard teams on your schedule, can they weather the storm mentally and say, hey, we can do this and we can make this happen without their star player. Obviously, it is just so recent after the game, but I'd be really interested tonight, the 74 points, not only who scored them, but how? How did they score them, and what shots was Great Bend getting tonight that maybe they even perhaps were not getting when Priemer was on the floor? Kind of an overarching question I'll post into the air here as we head into these upcoming games.
Well, I can answer that at least partially. I watched the first half of this game, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, Connor, but I can tell you the three-point shooting was really going in for Great Bend. They were getting to their spots and got a couple of fast break points off of steals as well, but mostly the jumpers, especially from three, were really going down for the perimeter guards.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge. I mean, Great Bend is going to have to shoot the three ball, not necessarily, I mean, efficiently for sure, but I do think there has to be a more quantity of threes. And so I'm actually going to name a women's college basketball team, and if you're like, oh, who is this? Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast women have consistently been the best mid-major girls basketball, women's basketball program in the country, probably going on 10 years now. And they shoot at an incredible number of threes. Percentage-wise, they're mid-pack in Division I, but they shoot so many of them that they normally are 27-5 each year, 28-4 type of thing. They actually played Oklahoma really close, I think 1 or 2 years ago in the tournament. Point is that does Great Bend say, we're going to shoot 25, 33s? And I want to make this point known. The Ellenwood girls this year, still undefeated, top 5 in 2A, last year led the state in three-pointers attempted per game on the girls' side at about 22, 23 a contest. Then they made 30% of threes. This year they're shooting less, 18 per game, still very high, but lower, making 34%, which is really, really good. So does Great Bend basically take a page out of Florida Gulf Coast or out of the Ellenwood playbook and say, we're going to try to get up 25 threes a game? The girls did that last year. Coach Maxwell was like, we're going to try to shoot 25 threes a game, and hopefully 7 or 8 of them go in, and for the most part they did. So will Great Bend shoot a lot of threes without Priemer?
So, Connor, we'll let you go here, but before you do go, tell us what's the latest over at Sunflower Sports Solutions.
Yeah, so Sunflower Sports Solutions just continuing to get up a lot of end-of-season stats, end-of-season trends, end-of-season notes, things of that sort. We did actually do this the other day. We went through all of the football teams in Kansas over this past year, made another spreadsheet, and had every team in Kansas for the wins of the last 2 years, which you can sort, and also which teams in Kansas this year had the most win improvement in 2024, and then the least wins improvement from 2024, from 2024 to 25. So always trying to get as much information out there. Generally, information that you can get nowhere else. I actually had a parent reach out to me and say about the girls' wrestling records, and he was inquiring on some things on that. I will say, because we do have a lot of names on there, quite a bit of records. Girls wrestling, it used to be if you could get to 80 wins in a career, you're probably in the top 25. I told the parent, I think it's important to know, with the incredible explosion of girls wrestling, at this point, you've got to get to 100 wins. 100 wins is really saying, hey, I'm top 25 all time, and if you're going to be top 15, top 10, you've got to get over 130. You know, Bree Ridgway from Great Bend Hall of Famer, you know, she had, when I first started doing this, was the all-time leader in girls wrestling wins in the state of Kansas. And every year since, that record has been broken.
Wow.
Just with how much the sport has changed. The Washburn Rural girl had it for like a day, and then it got broken again. And now Kaylin Hitchcock out of Olathe North has it, and probably will have it for a while. She just wrestles a lot of matches. But there's going to be, I think Bree Ridgway is maybe in that 10 or 12 range. again, just by how much the sport has changed over the last 7-8 years. It's been really, really cool.
Connor, it's always a pleasure, man. We'll let you go, but thank you for the time as always.
Hey, certainly, sir. Thanks again.
All right. Bye-bye. That is Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions joining us here on Sports Day. Big thanks to Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions. He sent me the article that he was talking about the women's basketball team at the college level that shoots a ton of three-pointers, Florida Gulf Coast, and the article is from Sports Illustrated. The headliner for it is no mid-range jumpers, how one mid-major has stayed ahead of the curve. And he's right. When you look at their record, when you look at the number of shots they're able to put up, when you look at the wins that they're able to get, the consistency that they're able to do it, putting up a ton of threes, if you can make them, the three-point shot has fundamentally changed the game. And everybody who's ever watched basketball in the last 20 years knows that. But leaning into the three has become it was for a little while the dominant force in the NBA, and while college basketball has never truly embraced it to that level, I do think that it's something that isn't going anywhere, and it's fun to watch a shot from deep go in. As a play-by-play guy, watching a three-pointer fall is a very fun call to make, and basketball, it continues to spread out and go longer and further away from the basket. I wonder if we are going to see a 4-point line at some point, just to have it even further back and just see, hey, you know what, if you can make it from 32 feet, you know what, that's worth an extra point. If you can make it from behind mid-court, we'll call it 5. I don't know how far back they want to go. But basketball has always been a sport that's willing to change and adapt and try and make itself even more appealing. So wouldn't shock me if that continues to change. And, of course, Great Bend without Ian Premer, without that 6'5" hyper athlete down low available, it wouldn't shock me if they went to their shooting on the outside. Cooper Omont, by the way, I failed to mention it. Cooper Omont scored 34 points in that game against Garden City last night. So, yes, the three-pointers were falling. The jump shots were going down, so many of them off the hands of Cooper Omont, and I wish I could have known that before I spoke to Connor last night. But like I said, we were talking as that game was finishing up, and either way, 74 points is going to be enough for that team to win more often than not. And I feel optimistic about where Great Bend basketball is going to be headed now that they've had a little bit of time to adjust to not having Ian Premer, and we'll see where it goes from there. Sports Day Today is brought to you in part by Equity Bank. There when you need them, bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. Also brought to you in part by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange signs south of 10th and Harrison. We got to hit our last break of the show. We'll say our goodbyes when we come back. You're listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Hey, Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Final minute or so of Sports Day here this week. Been a lot of fun bringing the show back. We're off for Christmas break. We were off for Christmas break for a little while, and just to get back in the flow of things, have a nice full work day, taking care of the show and a couple other things. Just been nice to get back into it. Sports Day has been brought to you in part by Great Bend Rec, providing quality leisure, cultural, sports, fitness, and educational programs to improve the quality of the community and the individual lives of their community members. Also, by Freedom Claims Management. Let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management, Inc. customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. Want to remind everybody, we've got high school basketball on our airwaves tonight. Larned and Lions on Hits 106.9. A pregame starts at 5:45. Girls tip off at 6. Same situation as Hoisington is hosting Beloit over on 100.7 Eagle Country. Caden Sanders on the call there. Gary Wagner will be calling for Larned. And on this very station, don't change your dial between now and 6, and you will eventually run into college football's playoff semifinal, Game 2, Indiana versus Oregon. Can only hope it lives up to be as great as last night's game between Ole Miss and Miami. Certainly that's what I'll be watching. I'll be listening to the other games, and hopefully you will be as well. That's going to do it. Good week of Sports Day. Thank you to Kyle Haxton and the members of the Hoisington High School basketball team, as well as Connor Nickel of Sunflower Sports Solutions. Thanks to Landon Winkler for running the video feed and the cameras. Thanks to you for watching and listening. We're back on Monday. We'll do it all again right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. This has been Sports Day.